The all-new HRV was made to excite with flowing lines and elevated finishing touches like slender LED headlights and available 18-inch alloy wheels. This SUV achieves an unmistakable premium aesthetic. The interior is surprisingly spacious and it has comfortable seating for up to 5 adults. Plus, the all-new HRV is just as smart as it looks, with loads of safety and tech, including an available 8-speaker sound system and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and wireless phone charging. Today, we're working with our friends at Luther Mankato Honda in Mankato, Minnesota. This is the all-new 2023 Honda HRV, and it's available in 3 trims, starting with the LX in front-wheel drive at $23,650, the Sport in front-wheel drive at $25,650, and the EXL front-wheel drive at $27,450. Now, all-wheel drive adds about another $1,500 per trim level. This HRV is the Sport trim and is presented here in platinum white pearl with a black cloth interior, and it has an MSRP of $28,790, and it is all-wheel drive. It's powered by a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder 16-valve double overhead cam VTEC engine with 10.8-to-1 compression, and it produces 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. Now, it is driven by a CVT transmission with sport mode, and this one has real-time all-wheel drive with intelligent control system. Now, taking a look out front, these are auto on-off aero composite LED low and high beams with the auto high beam headlamps with the delay off, and it does have daytime running lights as well. There is a body colored front bumper, and you see that black sport grille, and it does have the black chin spoiler and lower intake. And I will note these are actually active aero cutouts that help channel wind around the vehicle. Now, just above the sport grille is the chrome Honda logo, and above that is a nice contoured hood and a tinted laminated windscreen with variable intermittent windshield wipers. All right, let's take a look along the side. Okay, this does have the sport exclusive styling, and with that, the 18-inch black alloys that are wrapped in 225, 55, R18, 98H all-season tires. Now, it does have McPherson strut front suspension with a 27mm by 4.5mm tubular stabilizer bar, and out back is a new multi-link rear suspension with coil springs, gas shocks, and a 13mm solid stabilizer bar. Now, it does also have full-wheel ABS with 4-wheel disc brakes. Up front, 12.3-inch front vented rotors and 12.2-inch solid rear brake rotors. It also has electric power-assisted rack and pinion steering with a ratio of 12.7-to-1. Now, I do like this matte gloss trimming around the wheel wells and the lower rocker panel as well. It makes it look a little more rough, a little more outdoorsy, and a little bit more off-road. And these are, up top, gloss black, power folding, heated outside rear view mirrors with integrated turn signal indicators. Easy for me to say, right? Now, it does have the body colored door handles with the smart entry and walk away auto lock. And with the key in hand, it's got the little pieces up here. You just put your finger on it and it unlocks the door. Now, I do like this matte finished black belt line and window trim, and you also see the B and the C pillars are darkened out, as well as the rear and quarter glass. And up top, it is a smooth, clean top with no sunroof, no roof rails. All you see is a shark fin antenna. Let's take a look around the back. This is a fixed in place privacy tinted rear window, and it does have that reverse linked intermittent wiper window wiper washer that I really do wish they would have figured out how to have tucked it up under this nice gloss roof spoiler. It would have made it much cleaner back here, much nicer looking design. Now, these are LED brake lights, and you see the chrome Honda badge, Honda logo right there in the middle, and here on the edge you see HRV and Sport. This is a manual open and close lift gate, and there is also a rear view camera right there above the license plate. Overall, it's a very clean design out back. I actually like the looks of it. I'm not sure about the angle. I'm not a big fan of that. It does have a body colored rear bumper and a black lower rub strip fascia, and below that is a matte silver metal look bumper insert. And down over there on the lower right hand side, you see the single tailpipe exhaust finisher. Okay, let's take a look inside at the cargo area. Okay, the rear seats are 40-60 split folding. However, there are no release handles for those to fold your seats back here in the cargo area. You actually have to reach up to the seat and fold it down. It's mounted on the back of the top of the seat backs. Now, there is also additional cubby storage under the cargo floor panel along with the jack, and then under that compartment is the compact spare tire. There are two LED lights and a 12-volt outlet over on the right-hand side of the vehicle back here as well. And I must say, it's really nice and flat, pretty good open area. So the max cargo volume, as you see it here with all the seats folded, is 55.1 cubic feet. With the rear seats and up in place, it's 24.4 cubic feet. Now, while other reviewers are content with telling you about the cargo volume like I just did, in the real world you actually need to know the dimensions and if that home supply store purchase is actually going to fit inside once you get it out of the store and the lift gate open, ready to put it in. So here we go. The cargo area length to the front seats, as we have them adjusted, to the rear sill is 70 inches. The cargo area length from the rear seats as they're upright and in their stationary position to the rear sill is 34.5 inches. The cargo width at the belt line is 43 inches, and internally it's a little more narrow, so that's the cargo width between the wheelhouses. Well, that's 41 inches. Now, maximum height from the ceiling to the floor to get something in there is 29 inches, and to lift something off the ground to actually put it into the vehicle is also 29 inches. So what about some of the safety systems included on this new HRV? Well, you have the collision mitigation braking system, the road departure mitigation system. It has the adaptive cruise control with low speed follow, and I got to tell you, I absolutely love adaptive cruise control. The other one I don't like is the lane keeping assist, but a lot of people like those when they're driving in the cities and traffic. It does have forward collision warning. It does have lane departure warning. And there's also something now that's called the traffic jam assist. I don't know, is that like the Jetsons and it picks your car up and you can fly the rest of the way home? I don't know, whatever. Traffic sign recognition system, rear seat minder. So if there's something, a child in the rear seat or an animal, you don't get out and leave that child or animal in the vehicle. It does have the rear blind spot with rear cross traffic monitor. It also has low speed braking controlling and so very much more. So next up, let's walk around the side again and talk about the dimensions. Okay, the front track, 62.6 inches, and the rear track is 63.2 inches. Maximum width, 72.4 inches, which is actually 2.6 inches wider than the previous model. Its overall length, 179.8 inches, which is 9.4 inches longer than the previous model, and it's only fractionally higher at a total of 63.8 inches in height. It does ride on a wheelbase of 104.5 inches, and its ground clearance is 7.3 inches. Now, it does have an approach angle of 16 degrees and a departure angle of 21.1 degrees. The weight distribution for the all-wheel drive is 58% front, 42% rear, and it does have a turning circle of 37 feet, along with a curb weight of 3,311 pounds. Now, its maximum payload is 1,100 pounds, and when properly equipped, can tow up to 1,500 pounds. Fuel capacity, 14 gallons. All right, so let's talk about its overall safety and the safety ratings. Well, neither IIHS nor National Highway Transportation Safety Administration has rated this vehicle, but I'm sure it's in queue, and I'm sure those testings are coming. Performance, well, 0 to 60 in 8.6 seconds, standing quarter mile 16.5 seconds, and it has an overall top speed of 119 miles per hour. So with all that speed, how quickly can you stop 0 to 60? Well, 121 feet. Now, what about its appearance? Well, you know, I like the new design language for the front end, and the interior to me looks a lot like the new Civic, and I really do like that with that honeycomb mesh. But the back end kind of looks like Honda took a previous generation RDX and kind of glued it onto the back, and I'm not sure if I'm really into the back end of this yet. So you let me know. If you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. So what about its dependability? Well, basic warranty is 3 years, 36,000 miles. Powertrain warranty is 5 years, 60,000 miles. And they do offer roadside assistance for 3 years and 36,000 miles. And finally, let's talk about the economy. Well, 25 city, 30 highway, and 27 combined. And it does have an energy impact score of 5.39 tons of CO2 emissions at 15,000 miles a year. So that's my exterior review. Now, over to Nathan.
Thanks, Rob. And I'm going to take you on a tour of the interior of the 2023 Honda HRV. I'll show you all the features on the inside, including all of the technology. Let's get started. All right, stepping on the inside, you know, you're going to see this shape repeated a couple of times, sort of this hourglass look right here. Okay, but on top of the driver's door here, you do have auto up and down front windows, standard power rear windows, your window lockout switch, unlock, lock, and then of course your power mirror controls, and this is a slider for selecting left or right mirrors. You do have 2 areas of storage down here, okay? And then of course one of your 8 speakers. Now the driver's seat is a 6-way manual power, so this is your recline, this goes up or down, and then of course the button in the front will slide you forward or backwards. Now these are cloth seats. They are slightly more padded than the previous generation. They are very comfortable to ride in. I do like the orange stitching right here and all that, and you'll see it throughout the rest of the car too. Now down here you have of course your foot pedals and a nice left footrest. Coming up, you do have your traction control on or off right there. A little storage area right there. You do have that honeycomb vent we see from the Civic right here, except for the controllers are different. They're more of a flat paddle up or down and slide. This is a manual tilt and telescope steering wheel. All right, let's hop in. Okay, so the steering wheel is leather wrapped, 3-spoke. You've got media controls in the top left here. You got scan forward, scan backwards. You've got a volume control here. You've got a source button here. And then these 2 buttons here will control the driver's digital portion of the driver's information screen, voice command, and then over on the far right, you have all of your cruise control buttons, which is adaptive cruise control. And then you have your lane keeping assist and of course your gap setting for your adaptive cruise control. Now the dashboard itself is a 7-inch partially digital screen. So right where you see the digital 0 miles per hour, right about there is where the digital screen ends. The speedometer is of course analog. Everything else is digital, and we're cutting a separate video showing you exactly everything that you can do in that screen plus the infotainment screen. So check out that video if you want to know more about those 2 things. So moving on over to the infotainment screen here, we do have a 7-inch screen. The upper trim level will get a 9-inch screen along with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Now this does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you need to connect through the front USB port to get those. It does have AM and FM radio, Bluetooth, and then of course Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So note, no Sirius XM. Now down below you have a bunch of physical buttons. And if you get the upper trim level, those will show up digitally on your screen. You also have a power for the audio, volume, and then of course a rotary knob here that you can go through stations, select things on the different list, and so forth. But again, we've got another video detailing everything about that system. I'll just tell you that it has, this particular model has an upgraded audio system, so it has 180 watts and 8 speakers. So down below this, we've got your single zone auto climate control, and you do have 3-stage heated seats, both left and right, And then, of course, you do have a mode button. Now, when you press any of these, it shows up not only down here, but in the infotainment screen, which is nice. And then if I adjust the mode, you can see that going up there as well. If I do the fan, so everything is showing up. Other than that, you just got your standard buttons down here. You know, you got your front defrost, your rear defrost. This also turns on your heated mirrors. And then, of course, this turns on your air conditioning right here. Now, down below that, you've got a single USB-A port, and that's for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You do have a storage tray. In the upper trim levels, you will get a wireless charger right here. You have 2 cup holders. Coming back, of course, we have sort of a standard looking shift, which I like. And then, of course, S stands for sport, and then L would be low. Now, down here, you've got 3 modes. Okay, you've got normal, and you have got econ, and you've got snow. Down here, you've got hill descent control, and then, of course, your parking brake, and then your brake hold function, which if you activate that and you come to, say, a stoplight or stop sign and you press the brake, you can let the brake go. The car will remain stopped until you press the accelerator. So that's really nice. And it's nice you can turn it on or off right there. Now, directly below this, again, I told you to note on the door handle was kind of like a hourglass shape. Well, this is the same shape here. And down below, you've got a little storage area, and driver and passenger both have a USB-A port. But these are charging ports only and don't connect to the media system. All right, directly behind that, we have our center arm storage area. There are no extra plugins or outlets or anything in here, but it's fairly deep. Okay, it's about up to there on me. So ample room to store stuff in there. Coming over to the glove compartment, that is also a fairly large glove compartment. I mean, that's fairly deep. Lots of storage area. There's no extra shelf or anything, but you've got lots and lots of storage area. Okay. Moving up to the top here, you do have your light controls, and I kind of wish they made them like the rear lights, and I'll show you that when I get into the second row, but that's okay. At least you have them right here, and then of course you have your selection switch to determine if your interior lights come on or not when the doors are open. Both sun visors are telescope, and they both have a single light in them. All right, let's hop into the second row. All right, in the second row, of course, you have the same sort of hourglass look on the door handles. You got your power window switch, door handle. You do have a bottle storage and one of your 8 speakers. Now back here, you don't have a seat pocket storage on the driver's side, but you do on the passenger side. And then you have a little bit of a storage area, and then an area where perhaps some buttons will be added in the future, perhaps USB outlets, but there is nothing else back here. Okay, the seats themselves are comfortable. The seats adjusted for me, and I've got a good, 4 inches or so of space. Headroom, I got plenty. I've got like almost 2 inches of headroom. Okay, and then, Then the other thing I'll point out is down below, I can put my feet underneath the seat. If I put them far enough, my top of my feet start to touch it, but you do have some room to stick your feet underneath the front seats. Now the seats themselves, again, have this nice orange piping in them, and they are a 60-40 split. And when you fold them down, this part kind of goes forward and relaxes. This part kind of goes forward and down to give you more of a flat floor. So gone is the magic seat that used to be in back here. But it does fold flat and gives you lots of extra storage space. Now the 2 other things I'll point out here is that you've got, of course, your grab handle and your coat hanger. You do have adjustable shoulder belts for your seat belts right here. And then these are really cool. And this is what I meant in the front when I wish the front were like these. But these you just touch and they'll turn on or off. And it won't work now because the doors are open. But all you got to do is touch them and they'll come on or off. So what's missing back here is a center armrest. So there isn't anything right here for that. But the seats themselves are comfortable. Right? For a compact SUV, yeah, they're comfortable. Next up, we're going to take it for a ride. Okay, it is my turn to take a drive in the brand new 2023 Honda HRV. And I gotta tell you what, as far as a comfortable ride, it's really nice. The seats have more padding than the previous generation, and the cab is very well insulated. So it is a nice, quiet ride in here. In terms of getting in and out, well, you know, it's an SUV, so it's up a little bit higher, so it's a little easier to get in because you're not bending quite as far. And then in the rear, the doors don't open quite as wide as some do, but it's because of the height again, it's not bad getting in and out. Now, everything is laid out in here very nicely. Absolutely love the digital dash and the placement of the infotainment screen. You got voice command for most things on the infotainment system. Of course, if you need to reach over, it is well within arm reach. You know, your seat adjusters are right there where you'd expect them to be. So everything is pretty well right at hand. Now, in terms of parking, very easy. This has got a rear view camera system, and so it's got 3 different angles. You've got, of course, a little bit of wider, sort of a fisheye look, where you can see a little bit of the bumpers, but you do get a wider view. Then you got a more narrow view, and then you got a hitched down view. So parking this, especially if you're backing into something, very easy. It's also small and compact. It's got a good turning radius, so pretty easy to park. Now, in terms of maneuvering around town, I like the steering on it. That's one of the things I kind of look at. It doesn't feel like it's over boosted as far as assisting you. So you got some, you know, when you're driving it up to speed, even 30s, you know, you've got a little force on the wheel, so it doesn't just turn super easy, which I like. Requires just a little bit to turn it. So I really like that. To me, that makes it a better handling car, especially at lower speeds. But overall, really nice interior. Just such a nice update, and well, it's been completely redesigned, but it's really nice to see, and it makes for driving and riding in here very pleasant. All right, next, Rob is going to take it for a ride.
Okay, my turn in the new 2023 Honda HRV. I like the look of the interior, and even though I've just really slowly taken off, a little bit of engine groan there, so you can definitely hear that coming through, and that's with the sound deadening. It is a sport model, so I'm sure it's probably not as well insulated as the upper trim EXL, but as far as outside noise, I'll just let you listen for a second. It's fairly quiet. I mean, it's the entry-level SUV for Honda. So like any other entry-level SUVs, it's going to have about the same noise levels inside. Now, we're not on a highway, but I am doing 30 miles an hour. And it is a nice road, but there is some outside noise coming in from the tires. Now, you know, we talked about the safety systems. You got the backup camera, you got blind spot, cross traffic. It's got the adaptive cruise control, so many other things that are just ubiquitous in cars nowadays because they are loaded with safety and technology, and that's really cool. Acceleration, we talked about that. I think it was like 8.6 or 8.9 seconds, 0 to 60. It is, you know, 158 horsepower, 138 pound-feet of torque, so it's non-turbo. So there isn't a lot of power there, but I got to tell you, for around the city, it is pretty sprightly, pretty peppy. So I think it's going to be plenty for what you need, because it's that good balance of just enough power, but yet just the right amount of fuel economy as well. Now, the interior fit and finish, this is soft touch materials everywhere you put your hand, and I love the fact, love the fact that Honda's getting away from all that shiny, high gloss piano black finishes that have been in the most scratch prone areas in a vehicle. it's almost like, let's see how we can just make it as horrible as possible. You do have a little bit left on the steering wheel, but that's not bad at all. Everywhere else is covered in the nice vinyl. It looks really sharp in here. And these are cloth seats, and I'm finding them pretty comfortable. I know some folks have said that they didn't like that it lacked lumbar support, but for me, and I've had back issues, I think it's pretty nicely done. So, you know, overall, I think Honda's done a really good job with the new HRV. And if you're in the market for a entry-level, small SUV, this definitely should be on your shopping list. Well, that's our review of the new 2023 Honda HRV Sport, and we appreciate you spending some time with us. Don't forget to check out my notes in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like and leave a comment. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And please take a second to click on that subscribe button right over there. Thanks for watching.